Welcome back to the Think Changer. There are moments in life when the quiet speaks louder than any sound you've ever known. Moments when the world seems to fade, connections feel stretched thin, and you find yourself standing in a space that feels hollow, yet is secretly, powerfully sculpting you. This is for that moment. For those who walk a solitary path, not from weakness, but because life has called them to become unshakable. This is for those who understood early that solitude is not a sentence. It is sacred preparation. This is for every heart that has carried the weight of isolation and still chose to move forward. You are on your own, but you are mighty. And this season, this very chapter you are living, is forging the person who will one day astonish the world. When you walk alone, you learn a truth about your own power that crowds can never show you. People can distract, comfort, and influence, but solitude reveals. Solitude sharpens. Solitude fortifies. In the quiet where only your own thoughts resonate, you begin to remember who you truly are, beneath the noise, the expectations, the echoes of others' opinions. And if you lean into that silence instead of fleeing it, you uncover a resilience within you that was waiting to be known. Consider why masters practice in private, why visionaries often stand apart, why warriors seek clarity in seclusion before the battle. It is because solitude returns you to your foundation. And when you are alone, every day becomes a trial of discipline, of focus, of emotional fortitude, of spiritual stamina. Passing these trials transforms you into someone whose core cannot be rattled by the absence of applause or the presence of obstacles. Aloneness teaches lessons that support cannot. It teaches you how to depend on yourself, how to build your own flame, how to persist when there is no audience, how to trust your own instinct, and how to lift yourself from the ground. In solitude, you learn not merely to walk, but to walk with intention, with resolve, with grace, with an unyielding spirit. Every tear you dry alone becomes a masterclass in your own emotional strength. Every doubt you silence becomes a stone in the foundation of a more formidable you. Every lonely evening you endure becomes proof that you are far less breakable than you once imagined. Think of those you hold in high regard. Their brilliance was not crafted in the spotlight. It was built in the unseen hours of quiet, discipline, and resolve. They were alone when they worked, alone when they questioned, alone when they fell, alone when they wept, alone when they stood on the brink of surrender. But they did not yield. They ascended. And now the world witnesses their strength, but not the solitude that forged it. You may be in that forging season now, the season that feels dense, uneasy, testing, even aching. The season where little feels certain, doors seem closed, and others feel removed from your journey. But this season is not erasing you. It is etching you. It is molding you into the person capable of carrying the blessings, the responsibilities, and the victories that await. Alone is not abandoned. Alone is not unworthy. Alone is not forgotten. Sometimes life draws you back from the multitude so you can finally hear your own calling. Sometimes you are set apart so you can be elevated. Sometimes the path narrows because it is yours, and yours alone, to walk. Sometimes the journey grows still because commotion would drown out the discovery of who you are destined to be. In aloneness, you learn to think with piercing clarity. You learn to heed your intuition. You learn to align with your purpose. You learn to separate your own desires from the borrowed expectations of others. You learn to build boundaries that guard your peace, your energy, and your tomorrow. You learn to discern who holds a genuine place in your story and who is merely passing through. Solitude compels you to meet yourself. It makes you face your fears, your doubts, your frailties. And that confrontation is where transformation lives. When you evade your inner battles, they expand. When you face them in your own company, you disarm them. Every insecurity you meet alone becomes a seed of confidence. Every weakness you acknowledge alone becomes a muscle of strength. Every fear you walk toward alone becomes a testament to your courage. In solitude, you also learn to cherish yourself. You start to recognize your own worth without requiring a witness. You start to honor your own boundaries, your own aims, your own visions. You start to understand that you do not need permission to be potent, nor an entourage to be effective. You learn that your value is not tallied by who remains, but by the fortitude you cultivate when you are the only one watching. There will be days the silence feels like a weight, days when loneliness seems vast, days when you wonder if this is your path forever. But understand this: you are not walking alone as a penalty. You are walking alone because you are being prepared for an altitude not everyone around you is equipped to reach. You are walking alone because your destiny demands a deeper strength, a sharper focus, a purer patience than the common path requires. Your solitude is a classroom. Your struggle is an instructor. Your silence is a guide. Your isolation is a gift wrapped in challenge. Every lesson learned here will serve you in the next chapter. Every instance of unease is crafting a resilience within you that will make you undeniable when your moment arrives. You are not merely alone. You are becoming. You are evolving. You are ascending. You are transforming into the person you were meant to be. A person who could not fully emerge amidst the wrong voices, the draining energies, the constant distractions. Your might is being tempered in the quiet fire of solitude, and that might carry you through gales that would break others. It will steady you when others stumble. It will guide you when the way is dark. It will sustain you when life feels heavy. It will grant you the boldness to risk greatly, to dream wildly, to fight for your vision, and to walk calmly away from what no longer fits your soul. One day you will glance back at this season and see it as the most pivotal passage of your life. You will see that the loneliness you resisted was the very training you required. You will understand that the silence you dreaded was the soil where your purpose took root. You will recognize that those who departed simply made room for those who are destined to arrive. You will appreciate that the isolation that felt like abandonment was actually a divine guarding. And you will know you were never truly by yourself. You were being guided. You were being assembled. You were being fortified. Being alone brings you eye to eye with your purpose. It demands you take authorship of your own life. It teaches you how to rise without waiting for an outstretched hand. It teaches you how to champion your future without needing a cheer. It teaches you how to lead yourself with the same conviction you may one day use to lead others. In solitude, you cease being diverted by the judgments of the crowd. You stop seeking endorsement. You stop contorting to fit molds made by people who do not know your blueprint. Solitude permits you to grow authentically, to construct your identity from the soul outward, and to walk in harmony with the truth of who you are meant to become. People may not comprehend your path. They may challenge your choices. They may underestimate your potential. They may speak in hushed tones or fade from your view. Let it be. Your journey is not for their understanding. It is for you. It is for the person you are becoming. It is for the future that whispers your name. It is for the purpose planted within you long before anyone knew your name. Do not fear being alone. Fear inhabiting spaces where your spirit cannot breathe. Fear clinging to those who dim your light. Fear crowding your life with those who cannot see your vision. Fear living a narrative that is not your own. But never fear solitude. Solitude is where your strength is born. Solitude is where your destiny finds its form. You are not missing out. You are leveling up. You are not losing people. You are losing distractions. You are not isolated. You are being refined. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared. The world will one day witness the power that silence built within you. They will see a person who learned not just to endure alone, but to flourish alone. A person who knows their own worth, who trusts their own inner voice, who walks their own path, who stands anchored in their own authority. A person who no longer requires a crowd to feel whole, or validation to feel valuable, or approval to feel confident. You are alone, but you are strong. And this strength is not fleeting. It is permanent. It is now part of your essence. It is engraved in your character. It is woven into your spirit. It is etched upon your soul. Every solitary night, every silent tear, every quiet triumph, every moment you chose to continue, even when no one knew you were at war, all of it has compounded your strength. You are walking a road most will never tread, because most lack the courage to walk it. But you possess that courage. You possess that resilience. You possess that purpose. You possess that inner fire. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep growing. Keep rising. One day soon, all you built in the quiet will speak with a thunderous voice. You are alone, but you are strong. Stronger than before, stronger than the world knows, strong enough to rise, strong enough to claim your victory. And you will. There arrives a point in every life when the noise dims, the crowd disperses, and the way forward grows still. In that stillness, many feel fear. But you are different. You are starting to understand that silence is not a void. Silence is potential. It is the arena where your deepest self awakens. It is the place where confusion dissolves and clarity emerges. Alone does not mean weak. Alone means ready. Alone means rising. Life will detach you from the familiar so you can connect with the formidable. It will draw you away from certain people, comforts, and distractions, because your destiny requires a sturdier version of you. You cannot build that version surrounded by clamor. You build it in the quiet, in the loneliness, in the moments you question everything and then find every answer you need within. When you walk alone, you begin to distinguish your own true voice. Not the voice of anxiety, not the voice of lack, not the voice of the world, but the voice that knows your want, knows your purpose, knows your strength even when you doubt it. When you finally listen to that voice, your life shifts. You learn discipline with no overseer. You learn courage with no applause. You learn resilience with no safety net. The nights you weathered alone did not shatter you. They polished you. The days you pushed through without a hand did not diminish you. They trained you. The battles you fought in silence became the bedrock of the power you now hold. Most will never grasp what it means to grow in stillness. But you know. You know the feeling of rising with a weight upon you and choosing to move anyway. You know what it means to be your own comfort and keep going. You know how it feels to fracture and still reassemble yourself. You are not delicate. You are forged. Forged in the quiet. Forged in uncertainty. Forged in the moments that belong only to you. You have been alone before. You have felt misinterpreted. You have felt invisible. And yet, you rose. That rise is all the evidence you need. You are stronger than your circumstances, stronger than the solitude, stronger than anything that sought to hold you down. Being alone teaches you your own currency. It teaches you what to embrace and what to release. It teaches you the difference between those who share your journey and those who merely share your space. It teaches you who earns a place in your story. Solitude hones your intuition. It reinforces your boundaries. It ignites a quiet, unshakable confidence. You become someone who no longer pleads for attention, who no longer craves validation, who no longer leans on those who were never your foundation. You learn to stand firm within yourself, to believe in yourself, to rely on yourself. And once that knowledge is yours, it can never be taken. There is a turning point in solitude where fear transmutes into power, where loneliness crystallizes into clarity, where the quiet amplifies into purpose. That is the moment you realize you never needed a multitude. You only needed your own mettle. You never needed approval. You only needed your own direction. You never needed a savior. You needed to discover you are your own. You begin to prize your peace over popularity, your growth over gossip, your purpose over comfort. You begin to walk with aim. You begin to speak with truth. You begin to move with assurance. And the world begins to look different. Not because it changed, but because you have. What you lost did not destroy you. What ended did not label you. What walked away did not take your essence with it. You are not late. You are being prepared. You are not hollow. You are being expanded. You are not lonely. You are being aligned with the version of you that is finally ready to rise unapologetically. You become the kind of person who does not dread the solitary path because you understand, alone is where extraordinary things begin. Alone is where visions become action. Alone is where healing turns to power. Alone is where strength becomes who you are. You are walking a path others may not recognize, but that is because your calling is uniquely yours. Your vision is yours. Your purpose is yours. Your ascent is yours. One day the world will look at you and marvel at your journey. They may think it happened overnight, but you will know the truth. You built your strength in the silent hours. You built your courage in solitude. You built your future in the unseen moments. Alone but strong is not a temporary state. It is a transformation, a rebirth, a declaration that you are no longer defined by who stands with you, but by who you have chosen to become. You are strong because you weathered storms in your own company. You are strong because you healed wounds that had no witness. You are strong because you kept moving when every excuse told you to stop. You are strong because you stopped asking for the right to shine, and now you shine with intention. Now you walk with purpose. Now you live with a strength that cannot be moved. Now you understand. Being alone was never the conclusion. It was the genesis. You are alone, but you are strong. Strong enough to rebuild. Strong enough to rise. Strong enough to prevail. And you will. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to The Think Changer for more content to fuel your journey. Remember, wherever you are, the power to shape your next chapter lies within you. See you in the next video.